I'm glad to have you join us on the program from the National Assembly, reaching you live from the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority, the NTA. I am Kenneth Nanim. According to the provisions of the other paper today, the House is likely to consider about 5 motions that are going for second reading, and also have 8 motions that also go, 8 bills that also go for first reading, and we have about 5 motions here that the House is also likely to consider today. And with me here is Honorable Peter Abatasin, who is also going to explain to us on some of the activities that we are going to expect today in today's plenary. Honorable, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah. So please, we want you to explain to us a little what Nigerians are going to expect today in today's plenary at the House. Thank you.
Well, basically, we are going to follow the routine of looking at petitions that are coming from citizens from different parts of the country. And then we look at the orders of the day, which involves presentation of reports of committees, as well as motions from different members of the parliament. And then we look at the passage of some bills that have been read for the second term, and we have also passed through the process of public hearing. And one of them happens to be the one that is in respect of the establishment of a School of Mines and Geological Study in Akoko, in Edo State. Thereafter, some other, matters of urgent, national importance will be looked at. And the major one at the moment is on the new policy, visa policy of Nigeria, in America, that requires that Nigerian citizens living in America will have to seek permission, write letters, and seek to get stickers and the rest of those conditions before they can travel back home. Nigerian citizens are seeing that as an attempt to impose very unbearable conditions on them and make traveling back home extremely very difficult. So these are some of the things that we have to expect today.
Okay, thank you, Representative Peter Abatasin. Yes, we'll be listening to Representative Peter Abatasin, who stood in for the Chairman House Committee on Rules and Business. For now, we are going to play a repeat of House plenary when the House has consulted adequately for the business of the day. We take you straight to the Green Chambers.
Forward herewith for your kind consideration and passage into law a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of Federal Institute for Industrial Research. It is my hope that the House of Representatives will consider and pass the bill in your usual expeditious manner. Please accept, Honorable Speaker, the assurances of my highest consideration. Signed, President Muhammadu Buhari. And lastly, from Mr. President, is the one on the Raw Material Research and Development Council Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2017. I forward herewith for your kind consideration the Raw Material Research and Development Council Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2017. It is my hope that the House of Representatives will consider and pass the bill in your usual expeditious manner. Please, let's appreciate them. We also have at the gallery members of National Association of Igbo Students, University of Abuja chapter. Please rise up for recognition. So colleagues, let's appreciate them. Please take your seat. We also have at the gallery students of United Baptist Academy, Buhari, Abuja. Rise up for recognition. So let us appreciate them too. Please take your seat. We also have at the gallery visitors from Gombe State House of Assembly, and these visitors include the clerk and staff of Gombe State House of Assembly. You are welcome to the National Assembly. Honorable colleagues, let's appreciate them. And I hope the clerk will be able to take away one or two things after today's visit. Please take your seat. This is an announcement signed by Honorable Johnson Agboyima informing the National Assembly that the Oba of Benin, His Royal Majesty, is visiting Abuja, and that this should serve as a notice that His Majesty might likely visit the National Assembly. So through you, the National Assembly, House of Representatives particularly, is welcoming Oba of Benin to the city of Abuja and the seat of Nigerian government. Any member who has a petition to present may please rise to do so now. Dr. Tajuddin Abbas.
Okay. Right, Honorable Speaker, my honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Abbas Tajuddin. I represent Zaria Federal Constituency. I'm from Kaduna State. Honorable Speaker, I have a petition from one Bashir Shitu, who was a former staff of Nigerian Institute of Transport Technology, Zaria, who was suspended and later his appointment terminated in 1996 as a result of fraud that took place in the personnel unit, in the payroll unit of the bursary department of that institution. He sought for government, he went to court in 1997 to seek for redress, and the High Court granted that he was innocent of all the charges against him and ordered that the Nigerian Institute of Transport Technology should reinstate him back on his job. But 20 years later, the man is still grappling. The institution refused to comply with the court's order. He therefore resorted to come to this hallowed chamber to seek for redress. With the kind permission of Mr. Speaker, I would want to proceed to lay his petition. Thank you.
Please go ahead and do so.
Honorable Speaker, I have a petition. My name is Honorable.
Minor, I'm not recognized. You take your seat. Abbas, you are disrupting the process. Now, Lawal Minor, present your petition.
Honorable Speaker, my name is Honorable Mahmoud Lawal Minor, representing Mafa Dikokondiga from Borno State. I have a petition of Mrs. Mariam Danna Mohammed, against her wrongful disengagement from service as General Manager, Audit and Compliance of Niger Delta Power Holding Company, and refusal to reinstate her despite presidential directive to that effect. Rather strangely, Mr. Mohammed was disengaged via a letter from the former SGF, Engineer Babachir David Lawal, on 10 June 2016 without committing any offense whatsoever. In fact, she was never found wanting, the pretendant, and queried throughout her career of over 25 years. It is worthy of note that following a petition to the President and Commander-in-Chief, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, AGF, was directed to investigate the matter. Following the outcome of the investigation, a meeting was held between the AGF and Mr. President on 12 October 2016, during which Mr. President directed that she should...
Lawal Minor, the title, maybe the first paragraph and the prayer of your petition. Since it's still going to be considered...
to our position. I therefore here to permit to lay the petition for...
Please go ahead. Chairman House Services, come and inherit the chief whip seat. It's a Kano affair. Honorable Epotai.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Owidure Ekpotai. I represent the people of Eket, Ona, Esreket, even on federal constituency. I'm from Akwa Ibom State. I have a list of 10 petitions here from Nigeria, because this house is for the Nigerian people. Number one petition is petition by Nnamdi Nwachukwu Esquire on behalf of Mr. Ugwunaji Obani against the Nigerian Customs Services on failure, refusal, and neglect of the Nigerian Customs to obey the House of Representatives resolution on the petition by Mr. Ugwunaji Obani. Number two, complaint by Oke Onibo Esquire on behalf of Oza Waste Multipurpose Cooperative Society Limited and 9 other multipurpose cooperative societies against Mrs. Ezinne Otuka, Abia State, for the 3 additional financing project coordinator. Complaint by Mrs. Miriam Dana Mohammed against wrongful disengagement as General Manager Audit in Niger Delta Power Holding Company. Petition by Alhaji Abdullahi Muhammad on behalf of Retrency National Institute for Hospitality and Tourism against Bureau of Public Service Reforms for non-payment of severance benefits. Number 5, petition by Engineer Chief Edward Ujege on behalf of Emzu Youth Idoma National Forum, Omi Ngede, over alleged planned attack on Benue State, sponsored by Meiti Allah Kuta Hon Fulani Social Cultural Organization, over the implementation of the law to prohibit open rearing and grazing of livestock and provide for the establishment of ranches and livestock administration regulations and control. Number 6, petition by Daniel Omaka Esquire on behalf of Mr. Abraham Ehiboe against National Bureau of Statistics, National Pension Commission on non-payment of his pension. Number 7, petition by Johnson Oyewole Esquire on behalf of Abdul Umar against unjust dismissal from the Nigerian Army, RE 79NN/32402L/CPL Haruna Lawal 95NA/39265 LCPCL Abdul Umar. Number 8, petition by Ikureti Barry Faga David on behalf of Nembe Youth Emancipation Network against the management of NNPC/ AITEO on pipeline surveillance contract. Number 9, petition by F.A. Ogoji Esquire on behalf of Opokula, Kula, Boro, and 8 other communities against the official of Aito Pipelines Company Limited on award of NTCL surveillance to Ogunyebi Nigerian Limited by officials of Aito Pipelines Company Limited. Need to involve all stakeholders as to forestall untold consequences resulting from surveillance operation. Petition 10 by Findi Jaglis in respect of injustice meted to Findi Jaglis trading under the name and style of Omaria and Associates by Shell Petroleum Development Company, SPDC, regarding NGO 1001316 A28 and NGO 100312829. I plead the indulgence of the House that I should lay this petition on the floor of the House. Thank you.
Please do. Abdurrahman Shoaib.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my dear honorable colleagues. My name is Abdurrahman Shoaib. I represent Mubi North, Mubi South, and Maiha Federal Constituency. I'm from Adamawa State. Mr. Speaker, I have a very pathetic petition here. Petition from Empowerment for Unemployed Youth Initiative and 9 other civil society organizations. The petition is against the Federal Ministry of Transport and Federal Ministry of Defense, respectively, over the unconditional ceding of Nigerian coastal waterways to a foreign company, HSLI Security Firms and Technologies, at the cost of $195 million, and also the clandestine proposal to present before the Federal Executive Council next week the commercialization of the Nigerian Navy and control of our waterways to Showfac Consortium Limited for exchange of 100 boats. Mr. Speaker, the petitioners are seeking the intervention of this House. With your kind permission, may I lay the petition before the House? Thank you.
Please do. Any other petition? Petitions refer to the Committee on Public Petitions. Honorable Abubakar Chika.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My dear colleagues, I am Abubakar Chika Adamu. I represent Shiroro Rafimuya constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Niger State. Mr. Speaker, I am coming under Order 8, Rule 4, motion of urgent public importance. And my motion of today is a need to investigate the status and viability of the Fast Power Program Accelerated Gas Production for Power Generation by the Federal Ministry of Power. Mr. Speaker, I so submit and I urge the House to suspend the rules to enable me take the motion. Thank you.
Only seconder for the first leg of the motion. Yes, Honorable Akinwumi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleagues, my name is Akinwumi Nuruddin Olaitan, Ifako-Ijaye, Federal Constituency, the State of Excellence, Lagos. I rise to second the first leg of the motion as moved by Honorable Chika. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Any seconder, Honorable Ibrahim Siaka.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable members. Ibrahim Ayokunle Siaka is my name, Mr. Speaker. I represent the very good people of Ifo-Ewekoro Federal Constituency. I'm from Ogun State. I rise, Mr. Speaker, to second the second leg of the motion, ably moved by my honorable colleague, Adamu Chika. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Chika, please, your motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I still remain Abubakar Chika Adamu. I represent Shiroro Rafimuya Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from just the nearby state, Niger State. Mr. Speaker, my motion, as I said earlier, is on the need to investigate the status and viability of Fast Power Program Accelerated Gas Production for Power Generation by the Federal Ministry of Power. The House, note that the Fast Power Program located in Rivers State is a project designed to add gas-fired generation capacity and new gas supply for incremental power of 240 megawatts on the national grid in 2017 and 2018 in partnership with the International Original Equipment Manufacturers, OEM, with proposed expansion capacity of 600 megawatt in future. Informed that the proposed financing structure of the power project requires federal government to invest 15% of the capital cost of the project, with the partner OEMs spreading the 85% of the capital cost over 5 years, payable from the power purchase agreement revenues of the project. The project are set up as licensed power companies in line with the current industry structure. Also informed that the federal government 15% investment in recoverable upon sale of the shares of the companies in the expedited transaction to be implemented by Bureau for Public Enterprises and Ministry. Federal government will retain a carried interest to ensure all permits, license, and agreement with the government agencies is provided. Aware that the first project is on target to deliver 240 megawatt at Afam 3 power station before July 2017, with stranded gas from Shell's Oklahoma gas processing facility, on which the partner OEM has agreed to spread the 85% of the $186 million equivalent to 56,730 million naira cost, which is over 5 years. Observed that the total cost of the project amounting to $186 million with 15% down payment of $27.99 million already paid to the OEM, and 35% and already paid to the OEM, 35% payment security of $65.31 million due for payment but not yet paid, and 85% balance payment, which involved monthly payment of over 5 years at 9%. 9% interest is too exorbitant with the high cost of payment default in the future. Determined to unmask whether the project was completely bidded for before it was awarded to the General Electric, or whether the project have a license from NERC and MBET and the general uncertainties of the project. Resolved to 1. Mandate the Committee on Power and Public Procurement to investigate the uncertainties / viability of the fast power project and report back to the House for further legislative action. 2. Urge the Federal Ministry of Power to stop forthwith further payment of the fast power project pending the outcome of the committee's investigation. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I so submit.
Any seconder, Honorable Olajide Jimoh.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My name is Jimoh Olajide. I represent Lagos Mainland Federal Constituency, Lagos State. I stand to second the motion as moved and ably submitted by Honorable Chika. Thank you, sir.
Honorable Chika.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, the motion is all about the power project that the government is going into. Mr. Speaker, first of all, when we went for the roadshow on the Eurobond, what I mean, we are taking a loan that we have approved in this house. The government is taking that loan at the rate of 6.5%. But here we are calling an investor after paying 15% down payment, and the other remaining 85% of the payment is expected to be paid over 5 years. And we are guaranteeing 9% of that 85%. After all, it is a business where the company is also going to benefit from a profit margin as a in regard to establishing that power project. 1. 2, Mr. Speaker, I draw the attention of this House also to take note that there is also another 35% which is about to be paid in the sum of about $65 million. That 35% is now giving me confusion. Is now the project going to cost Nigeria 135%? Because we have 85% that is going to be spread over a period with an interest rate of 9%, and here we are again paying another 35% as security. Mr. Speaker, I am confused when I read about this project, and that necessitated that I should come to this house to find out how was even the project couched. What are the interests that Nigeria is going to drive at this time, building a power plant that we will sell over time? I think Nigeria is not supposed to be in this business any longer, because we will use the public fund to build plants and at the end of the day sell it to people outside at discount rate. I believe this should be purely business. Nigeria is only here to guarantee the power purchase agreement. Where the power, you have produced power and it has not been purchased, I believe Nigeria now can decide to say, okay, we have guaranteed that is when we will pay you. But we should make it strictly business. Create the enabling environment, not to even bring the project that the government will fund with other complications that cannot be easily understood by the common man. So, Mr. Speaker, this is where I stand as regard to this motion. And that is why I want us to investigate, in fact, the technicality behind the couching of the project, or behind the contract project of the power plant. And I believe Nigerian money should not put to waste. Nigerian money should either be put to other infrastructure, and business should be purely business. We have seen how we have rehabilitated the power plants at a day. Even the existing power plant were sold to people at a very, very discount rate. So I don't think Nigerian money should go now into production of power plant that will now be sell to any other person, and with even complication. So Mr. Speaker, this is my stand, and this is where I remain as regard to this motion. Thank you.
Yes, Engineer Solomon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues. Engineer Solomon Maren is my name, and I represent the very good people of Mangu Bokos Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from the home of peace and tourism. Mr. Speaker, I rise to also support this very and all-important motion brought to the floor by my very humble colleague, Honorable Chika. Mr. Speaker, at a time that our country is practically in recession, but theoretically out of recession. At a time, Mr. Speaker, that we are borrowing money to fund capital projects that are provided for in our budget. At a time that, Mr. Speaker, you cannot drive on any road in this country more than 2 kilometers without braking and almost coming to a stop due to the bad nature of these roads. Mr. Speaker, at a time that we are trying to connect many parts of this country with rail transport service in order to reduce the pressure on our roads. Mr. Speaker, at a time that we have invested so much in this power, and at the end of the day, it's almost it will be given. It's always given out almost at a free rate to businessmen. Is it not time, Mr. Speaker, that we begin to build only the conducive environment where people can build businesses, can build these power plants of them, for themselves, and guarantee only the sale of this power that is generated from these power plants? Mr. Speaker, like my colleague said, it is worrisome when 15% of a contract has been paid and 85% again has been spread over a period of time, and you are applying that you take more money from that same contract. Mr. Speaker, it then means that we are not prioritizing properly for effective growth. And because of that, Mr. Speaker, I'm afraid for my children and I'm afraid for my grandchildren what type of country we are trying to leave behind. And I think it is time, Mr. Speaker, that we must rise to ensure that we leave back behind a country that our future generation will be proud of whatever we are able to do today. And I think I want to call on my colleague to support this motion so that it will go through and that proper investigation is carried out. That is my submission, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Engineer Chris. Okay. Honorable Olajide Jimo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My name is Jimo Abdurrahim Olajide. I'm representing Lagos Mainland, Federal Constituency, Lagos State. I want to thank Honorable Chika for this motion, which is very important to Nigeria as a whole, to our economy. If there's any establishment or sector in this country that is mostly criticized, is power. There's no one that will not be able to speak against power supply in this country, despite all efforts that have been put together. However, Mr. Speaker, I want to say that this is an allegation that should be substantiated, and a call is now being made for our investigation. I want to suggest that we wait until the outcome of the investigation is out before we can now make any further comment. That's my comment. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Honorable Nena. Then thereafter, Honorable D. then we close the debate on it.
Mr. Speaker, sir, thank you very much. I want to align, my name is Nenna Ilendi KJ, member representing Bende Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm from Abia State. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to align my line of argument with the immediate past speaker. that says that since this matter is existential and it's very important and it lies at the heart of everything that we do in this country, the power issue, I think that since this motion called for an investigation, that we should allow the committees to carry out the investigation and bring the report before the House so that we may glean from the expert opinions on the matter, rather than us give the impression that we're already taking sides or we believe the allegations. Mr. Speaker, I would therefore suggest, like the last speaker has just said, that we allow the committees that it has been referred to carry out a proper in-depth investigation into the matter to enable the House to take a proper decision at the end of it. I so submit. Thank you.
Honorable Doye, despite those submissions, are you still itching for a contribution?
Yes, my right honorable speaker. I remain Diri Doye. I represent the very good people of Yenagwa, Kolokuma, Opokuma Federal Constituency in Bayelsa State. Mr. Speaker, I want to add my voice to this very important matter raised by my colleague Honorable Chika. Mr. Speaker, the question is, why are we always awarding contracts? We have generated about 10,000 megawatts. Where is the transmission? Where is the distribution? The power is there. It cannot be transmitted. It cannot be distributed. And we are not doing anything to look at evacuating that power that is already generated. And yet, we are rushing again to award another contract. Mr. Speaker, it will interest you to note, honorable colleagues, that the sum of about 6 million naira was allegedly, $6 million, was allegedly paid to GE for miscellaneous. The question is, miscellaneous for what? Mr. Speaker, this is the time to investigate this matter. I add my voice and I think it should be investigated. Thank you.
Yes, after that, the submission, there is an amendment to the prayer. We have been duly guided by other honorable colleagues that because the motion itself is investigative in nature, we should not try to preempt most of the issues that will be raised. So I have an amendment proposed by Honorable Ayodele Oladimeji. So can you read your amendment?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Dear colleagues, my name is Ayodele Oladimeji. I represent Ado Ekiti, the airport federal constituency from Ekiti State. I rise to move for amendment of prayer 1. Being a public debt, I request that we amend that prayer to read, mandate the committees of power, public procurement, and aid loans and debt management to investigate the uncertainty, viability of fast power projects and the report to the House for further legislative action. Thank you.
His amendment is to include the House Committee on Aids, Loans, and Debt. So any seconder, aside the fact that the prayer is mandating the House Committee on Power and Procurement, there is now adding the Committee on Aids, Loans, and Debt. Honorable Oni.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Oni Olamide from Ekiti, Ijero, and for Federal Constituency. I'm from Ekiti State. I rise to second the amendment assembly moved by Honorable Oladimeji. I so second.
Those in favor of that amendment say aye. Those against say nay. Nays have it. Those in favor of the motion as amended, Okay, thank you for being observant. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Rita Oji.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues. My name is Rita Oji, member representing Ajeromi, Ifelodu Federal Constituency from Lagos State. Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues, I'm coming under Order 8, Rule 4, to bring up a motion on urgent need to review the new Nigerian visa policy in United States of America that commenced from October 16, 2017. I'm equally coming under the same other sub-rule to ask that the matters, the relevant sections of our law be suspended for me to take it now. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder? Yeah, thank God. Muazu is seconding the motion this morning. Honorable Muazu.
Mr. Speaker, I know I'm your friend now. My name is Honorable Ismail Muazu Hassan, member representing Akwa Federal Constituency from Gombe State. I rise the second motion moved by Honorable Rita. I say second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. For the second leg of the motion, Chibok girl.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my respected colleagues. I am Asabe Vilita Bashir. I represent Chibok, Goza, and Damboa Federal Constituency. I come from Borno State. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise to second the second leg of the motion that the relevant rules of this House be suspended to enable my sister, Rita Oji, bring up her matter. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Rita Oji.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues. My name once again is Barrister Mrs. Rita Oji, member representing Ajeromi, Ifelodu Federal Constituency. The motion on urgent need to review the new Nigerian visa policy in the United States of America that commenced on October 16, 2017. The House knows the alleged new Nigerian visa policy, which come into effect in the United States of America October 16, 2017, to fleece Nigerians in diaspora by whatever means. The House also knows that the two businesses, Innovative Services Incorporated and Integrated Solutions, OIS, jointly owned by Nigerians, are based in the United States, with 6 centers and offices in the 50 states of the United States. The House is aware that anyone wishing to obtain a Nigerian visa is requested to go and complete a biometric process of fingerprinting and capturing with this business concern. The House is aware that the company charges each applicant a fee of $20 and a visa fee on the same passport of $12 just for the delivery of the passport. Worried that the visa process is logically flawed, in that not only you applicants are now required to pay additional $90 to the same group of owners of OIS that has just 6 centers across the entire area, only in New Jersey, Washington, D.C., Atlanta, Houston, Los Angeles, and San Francisco. Further worried that Nigerians in diaspora bear the financial burden of transportation, accommodation, feeding, just to obtain this visa only in these few centers out of 50 states of America. a concern that the same business concern stated that the BVN registration which they charge every Nigerian in diaspora who wishes to maintain their bank account of another cost. The House further concerned that the alleged OIS has been assigned the sole duty of doing biometric for every Nigerian to obtain a visa in USA by the Foreign Affairs Ministry, and the mind blogging of $90 per applicant and $180 again to be paid online. The House resolved that the Committee on Foreign Affairs to commence investigation on this allegation and immediately set the image of Nigeria as the petitions are already on the internet for people to sign. Urge the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Interior to stay action on this proposed scheme pending the outcome of this investigation. Urge the House Committee on Diaspora as a matter of urgency to liaise with the Nigerian Immigration Services to ascertain the veracity of this allegation in order to quell this uprising that is going on as a result of this allegation and report back to the House. Urge the Committee on Legislative Compliance to ensure compliance as a resolution of the House. I so move it.
Any seconder? Honorable Lovett, DC.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I remain Chief Idisi Lovett. I represent the good people of Etiop East and West Federal Constituency of Delta State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleague, I'm an honorable chief. I rise to second the all-important motion as ably moved by my sister Rita Ojo. I so second. Thank you.
Yeah, because of the implication of matter at hand, I will go ahead and put the question and allow the House Committee on Foreign Relations to do the job so that we do not preempt the issues that will be raised. And of course, issue of visa has a lot to do with Nigeria image. So the question is, those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable colleagues, the first business of the day is presentation of 8 bills. The clerk is invited to read the short title of the bills.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, Nigeria Natural Medicine Development Agency Establishment Bill, first reading. Raw Materials Research and Development Council, Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2017, first reading. Federal Institute for Industrial Research Bill 2017, first reading. Federal College of Education, Akwete Establishment Bill 2017, first reading. Federal Polytechnic Cocoa Establishment Bill 2017, first reading. Ministries, departments, and agencies MDS Compulsory Website Bill 2017, first reading. Private Guards Company Act Amendment Bill 2017, first reading. Federal Government Staff Housing Loans Board Act Amendment Bill 2017, first reading.
Honorable colleagues, the second business of the day is presentation of report of the ad hoc committee on the investigation of the planned relocation of Shell Petroleum Development Company, SPDC, from Port Harcourt, River State, standing in the name of Honorable Ibrahim Isiaka. Honorable members will recall that the matter was referred to the committee on Thursday, 26 January 2017. The report is ready for presentation. Honorable Isiaka is invited to present the report.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Good morning once again. Distinguished honorable members, Ibrahim Ayokunle Isiaka, I represent the very good people of Ifo, Ewekoro Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Ogun State. I rise, Mr. Speaker, on behalf of my honorable colleagues, saddled with the responsibility of this committee, the ad hoc committee on investigation of Shell Petroleum relocation. Mr. Speaker, ad hoc committee on the investigation of the planned relocation of Shell Petroleum Development Company, SPDC, from Port Harcourt, Rivers State. The report, which is the temporary one, is ready for presentation and to be laid, Mr. Speaker. I seek the permission of the House, under your leave, to lay the report, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder? Honorable Shuaib.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my right honorable colleagues. My name is Abdurrahman Shuaib. I represent Mubi North, Mubi South, and Maiha Federal Constituency. I'm from Adamawa State. I rise, Mr. Speaker, to second the motion ably moved by Honorable Ishiaka to lay the report. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Ishiaka, please lay the report. Honorable colleagues, the third business of the day is presentation of 3 reports of the Committee on Power, standing in the name of Honorable Daniel Asuko. The reports are ready for presentation, and I invite Honorable Asuko to please present the reports.
Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues, my name is Honorable Dan Asuko. I represent people of Aka and Kwabiase Federal Constituency, and I'm from Cross River State. I hereby move to present the report of the House Committee on Power. 3 reports from the House Committee on Power. 1, that the House do receive the report of the Committee on Power on a bill for an act to amend the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission meters reading, billing, cash collection and credit management for electricity supplies regulation number 42 of 207 to address matters relating to outstanding liability of electricity bills in rented apartments and for related matters, HB 510. Second report, that the House do receive the report of the Committee on Power on a bill for an act to provide for the utilization, sustainability and adequate supply of renewable energy for electricity and heat generation and for related matters, HB 440. The last report is that the House do receive the report of the Committee on Power on a bill for an act to amend the Electricity Power Sector Regulatory Act, CAP E7 laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 2004 to reposition the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission for effective service delivery and for other related matters, HB 611. May I move to present this report? I so move.
And it's Honorable Kuruka.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am Kiruka Onyegeorge. I represent the good people of Isuku Atumunuchi Federal Constituency. I am from Abia State. I rise to second the motion as moved by my colleague, Honorable Daniel Asuko. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Please, Honorable Asuko, lay the reports. Honorable colleagues, the fourth business of the day is presentation of report of the Committee on Finance on a bill for an act to amend the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission Act, Chapter R7, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to make provisions for any revenue generating agencies and enhance the revenue profile and remittances into the Federation account to facilitate national development and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Babangida Ibrahim. Honorable members will recall that the bill was referred to the committee on Thursday, 1st December 2016. The report is ready for presentation, and Honorable Ibrahim is invited to present it. I think the Deputy Chairman House Committee on Finance is on the floor, so please present your report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I remain Honorable Austin Chukwukere, member representing the federally marginalized people of Idato North, Idato South Federal Constituency. I'm from Imo State. Mr. Speaker, I move that the House do receive the report of the Committee on Finance on a bill for an act to amend the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission Act, Cap R7, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to make provisions for earning revenue generating agencies and enhance the revenue profile and remittances into the Federation account to facilitate national development and for related matters, HB 542. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder? Honorable Ezekiel.
Honorable Speaker, my colleagues, I'm Honorable Ezekiel Adaji. I'm from Benue State. I represent Utupo Ohim. I stand to second the motion to allow Austin to present his report. I so second, Honorable Speaker.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Deputy Chairman, House Committee on Finance, please lay the report. Honorable colleagues, the fifth business of the day is presentation of report of the Committee on AIDS, Loans and Debt Management on the proposed external borrowing request for state governments under the 2016-2017 external borrowing rolling plan for Jigawa, Katsina, Ogun, and Plateau states. Standing in the name of Honorable Adeyinka Ajayi, honorable members will recall that the request was referred to the committee on Tuesday, 6 June 2017. The reports are ready, and I invite Honorable Ajayi to lay the reports. Honorable Ajayi. Honorable Adeyinka Ajayi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Adeyinka Ajayi. I represent the people of Odoti, Felodu, and Boripe local governments. Mr. Speaker, my respected colleagues, I am from the state of Osun. Mr. Speaker, may I move that the House do receive the report of the Committee on AIDS, Loans and Debt Management on the proposed external borrowing request for state governments under the 2016-2018 external borrowing rolling plan for Jigawa, Katsina, Ogun, and Plateau states. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any second, Honorable Flatter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Abubakar Hassan Flatter. I represent Bruniwa, Krika Sama, Gudi Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. I stand to second the motion ably moved by Honorable Adeyinka Ajayi that the House do receive the report of the Committee on AIDS, Loans and Debts on the proposed external borrowing request for the state governments under 2016-2017 external borrowing rolling plan for Jigawa, Katsina, Ogun, and Plateau states. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Yinka Ajayi, please lay the report. Leader, approach the chair. Honorable colleagues, the sixth business of the day is presentation of report of the Committee on Commerce on a bill for an act to amend the Oil and Gas Export Free Zone Authority Act, Chapter 05, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to provide for the designation and establishment of oil and gas free zones in Nigeria and for other related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Sylvester Ogbaga. Honorable members will recall that the bill was referred to the committee on Wednesday, 10 May 2017. The report is ready for presentation. I now invite Honorable Ogbaga to present the report.
Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Sylvester Ogbaga. I represent Abakaliki, Izifira constituency. I'm from Ebonyi State. I move that this House do receive the report of Committee on Commerce on a bill for an act to amend the Oil and Gas Export Free Zones Authority, Act Cap 05 Law of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and to provide the designation and establishment of oil and gas free zones in Nigeria and for other related matters. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Jega.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My name is Mohammed Umar Jega, representing Alero Gondo, Jega Federal Constituency. I'm from Kebbi State. I rise to second the motion, heavily moved by my honorable colleagues. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Sylvester Ogbaga, please lay the report. Honorable colleagues, the seventh business of the day is presentation of report of the Committee on Foreign Affairs and Cooperation and Integration in Africa on review of Nigeria's continued membership of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, in view of the clamor to admit Morocco into the community, standing in the name of Honorable Indela Eledu Ukeje. Honorable members will recall that the matter was referred to the committee on Wednesday, October 5, 2017. The report is ready for presentation. I now invite Honorable Ukeje to please present the report.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir, for yielding the floor to me. My name is Nenna Elendu KJ, member representing Bende Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm from Abia State. May I move, and I so do, that the House do receive the report of the Committees on Foreign Affairs and Cooperation and Integration in Africa on review of Nigeria's continued membership of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, in view of the clamor to admit Morocco into the community. I so move.
Any seconder, Honorable Kazim.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Kazim. I represent Abeokuta North, Obafemi Owode and Odeda from Ogun State. I rise to second the motion as heavily moved by my chairman. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable KJ, please lay the report. The first order of the day is the third reading of a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the School of Mines and Geological Studies in Akoko Edo local government area and for related matters. Honorable members will recall that the House adopted the report of the Committee of the Whole on the bill on Thursday, 16 November 2017. I therefore call on the Leader of the House to move that the bill be now read the third time. Leader.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I rise to move that a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the School of Mines and Geological Studies in Akoko Edo local government area and for related matters, HB 105, be read a third time. I so move.
Empty.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, my name is Mohamed Tahir Monguno. I represent Marke Monguno, Ganze Federal Constituency of Borno State. I hereby second the motion as ably moved by the House Leader. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. I now invite the clerk to read the long title of the bill.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the School of Mines and Geological Studies in Akoko Edo local government area and for related matters. Third reading.
Bill read third time and passed.
To amend the National Boundaries Commission's Establishment Act to provide for regular periodic documentation and supervision of the state. I agree. Just jump it.
Just step it down.
What is your bill about? Let's talk about it. What's your bill about? Your bill sounds fast.
Honorable colleagues, the second order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to amend the Hydroelectric Power Production Area Development Commission Establishment, etc. Act 2010 to make provision for reduction of percentage on revenue generated by any company or authority from the operation of hydroelectric dams and for related matters. Standing in the name of the House Leader, honorable members will recall that the bill was transmitted from the Senate, seeking concurrence of the House, and read the first time on Thursday, 14 November 2017. I now invite the Leader to move that the bill be now read a second time. Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Mr. Speaker, with your kind permission, I would wish to, even though this is a concurrence bill from the Senate, it involves a major sector of our economy, which is power. And I wish to, at this point, get a fuller briefing and consultation with the Senate before we take this bill for concurrence. So I will be asking that we step this down for now. Thank you.
The bill stepped down by the leader of the House. Honorable colleagues, the third order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to amend the National Boundaries Commission Establishment Act, Chapter N10, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to provide for regular periodic delimitation and supervision of states, local governments, and community boundaries by the Commission so as to check and forestall boundary disputes and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Idagbo. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Thursday, 24 October 2017. I now invite Honorable Idagbo to move that the bill be now read the second time. Honorable Idagbo, Chairman, Rules and Business. Sorry, Honorable Idagbo is on the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I rise to move that the bill to amend the National Boundaries Commission Establishment Act Cap 10, LFN 2004, to provide for regular periodic delineation and supervision of states, local government, and community boundaries by the Commission, so as to check and forestall boundary disputes, be read the second time. I so move.
Any seconder? Honorable Sule Garo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Nasir Sule Garo, member representing Gwarzako Federal Constituency. I rise to second that this bill be read for the second time. I so second.
Honorable Idagbo, please lead the debate.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. This is a very straightforward bill. It's a bill that seeks to avert numerous communal clashes as a result of boundary issues. Before now, our boundaries are not properly delineated. The National Boundary Commission is not saddled with the responsibility of periodic checks and delineation of our boundaries. Because of that, various communities do not know where their actual boundaries lie. Even where they do, as years go by, these things tend to fade away, and the generations to come begin to argue as to where the boundaries lie. So this is an amendment that will ensure that the National Boundaries Commission do what they are supposed to do, move around year in, year out, to properly delineate our boundaries. It's a straightforward bill, Mr. Speaker. We are all witnesses to the numerous communal clashes that emanate from boundary disputes between communities. These disputes most of the time are a result of non-delineation or improper delineation of boundaries between two communities. Mr. Speaker, with the use of technology that we have today, these boundaries can be so easily delineated. Even if the National Boundary Commission would not put conspicuous beacons in order to avoid issues between communities, there are ways that beacons could be buried on the ground, and with the use of GPS, anytime there is an issue in that community, these beacons could be properly found and shown to the communities to avoid communal clashes. Mr. Speaker, in other climes, in the UK, in Canada, in Australia, this is what their boundary commission and their boundary agency does. They ensure that these boundaries are properly delineated so that every member of the community is aware where their boundaries lie. Mr. Speaker, even in the case of natural boundary lines, I will give you an instance of Cross River State, for instance, we have a natural boundary with our brothers from Akwa Ibom. It's a natural boundary demarcated by a bridge called the Itu Bridge, you know, but over time, our predecessors were aware of these boundaries and they respected these boundaries. Only recently, as time went on, people began to forget where this boundary was and people started encroaching. For 2 years now, we've been having boundary clashes with our sisters and brothers from Akwa Ibom. And what is the cause of these boundary clashes? People are not very sure where the boundary was. And this is the fault of the National Boundary Commission. If the Boundary Commission had swung into action and properly delineated these boundaries and marked it out, all this would have been avoided. We lose billions every year to boundary issues. We lose lives every year to boundary issues. It's a straightforward amendment, Mr. Speaker, and I urge my colleagues to support this amendment. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues.
Honorable EJ.
My right honorable Speaker and dear colleagues, my name is Honorable E.J. Agboanyima, representing the good people of Ego, Abuja Federal Constituency, Edo State, the heartbeat of the nation. Mr. Speaker, let me stand to support this wonderful bill on the issue of our National Boundary Commission. Mr. Speaker, as you can see, a lot of issues regarding boundary in this country is causing a lot of life, property being destroyed as a result of community fighting each other because of boundary. Because the reason why the government has refused to do the needful to make the place, to create laws, even laws that are there are not being followed to the latter. Mr. Speaker, this bill is very straightforward, that something must be done in order to avert killings, youth be killed, women killed, our leaders killed, where communities are fighting against each other because of land dispute. Even in my state, Edo State, Mr. Speaker, you can even see as of today, you see where somebody from nowhere coming to Edo to create himself that he owns the land and making himself to be a king in Edo State as of today because of this issue of boundary. Boundary, there's no reason why we shouldn't live together as one family, as one Nigeria. I think this bill will put an end, will help to curb the menace, the killings of innocent souls. We should live together as brothers and sisters. There's no need for fighting each other, coming to say you want to make yourself a king when you are not. A place that does not belong to you. You are not from Edo State. You just come from Ijo. You say you are now in Edo.
Honorable EJ. Honorable Shagodabumi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Adebumi Shegun is my name. I represent the good people of Ogoluwa's Surulere Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Oyo State. I rise to support this motion, this bill. Mr. Speaker, honestly, if this will bring solution to the problem that has been emanating from boundaries issues in Nigeria. I urge our colleagues to support this bill so that when we get to the public hearing, we can now deliberate further on, even if there will be need for us to introduce a tribunal into this matter. Because, Mr. Speaker, as far back as 15 years ago, even in my constituency when I was the chairman there is this problem, and up to today is still existing between Osun State and Oyo State. And even the commission, to me, they are toothless, that they cannot bite, because maybe there's need for us to go deep into the bill so that we can give them power to say the right thing and to make sure whatever the findings is binding on the people. Because this thing is causing serious problem within our community, and there is need for us to rise in order to save our people from unnecessary fighting within the land. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I so submit.
Nkiruka.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am Kiruka Onyejocha. I represent the good people of Isukwatu-Munoch Federal Constituency. I am from Abia State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I rise here to speak in support of this motion because I am involved. My local government has 4 states boundaries: Imo State, Anambra, Ebonyi, and Enugu. As I speak today, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my people are fighting with Ebonyi people.
Chairman Local Content, Chairman Telecommunication, please take your seat.
On issues of boundary. And I believe that anything that will bring solution to these issues, I will support it anytime, any day. Because the bill is calling for amendment so that Boundary Commission will do periodic evaluation of boundaries. Believing that when they do that, people will be at peace, because it would have been a settled statute that my boundary is from so-so place to so-so place, and so there won't be any issue of discrepancy. So, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I lend my support to this bill, but I also have to say something here. The current boundary commission we have today, the question we should ask, are they empowered? Do they have enough manpower to do a periodic review of all this? So while we are looking at the amendment, we're also going to look at the issues of empowering the commission itself to be able to carry this massive job, because it is not like a tea party. You're talking about 36 states, including FCT. And so if you're going to do a periodic review, money has to be involved, manpower has to be involved. But looking at those things doesn't mean that we're not going to do the needful. So I am saying that we should keep an eye on those issues. And I support this bill. And I believe that my colleagues will support this bill. I so submit.
Honorable Olajide Jimo. Is Honorable Binta, are you raising up your hand?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My name is Jima Abdurrahim Olajide. I'm representing Lagos Mainland Federal Constituency, Lagos State. Mr. Speaker, sir, this bill is an amendment to the existing law on National Boundary Commission. And I think if there's anything at all that is controversial in this country, the issue of boundary is one of them. Because boundary is about ownership. And it's like chieftaincy titles that people can fight for at any point in time. And I know, sir, Mr. Speaker, if this amendment takes place, it will limit the controversy that we always witness everywhere. And if there's any other thing that are intertwined, that connect every sector together, or segment, or community together, is boundary. Talking of local government, state, and national. The three are combined. And you cannot separate one from the other. Take, for instance, in a particular local government, a local government in Lagos and another local government in the same Lagos can be fighting because of boundary, simply because of revenue. If this is adjusted, you will know your limit. Periodical checking is important. It's been a long time that this thing has been causing a lot of problems in this country. If we are periodic in this issue, it will take care of everything that can cause problems, sir. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much.
Honorable Nena.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir, for yielding the floor to me. My name is Nigerian Lendu KJ, member representing Bende Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm from Abia State. Initially, Mr. Speaker, when I read, of course, I stand to speak to the general principles of this bill. Initially, I was a little skeptical about it. And so I wanted to look at the functions of the National Boundary Commission to find out whether there was actually any need for this amendment. Now, having looked at the functions of the National Boundary Commission, it says delimit boundaries. However, what this amendment seeks to do is for there to be a periodic review of these delimitations as an amendment, and he wants it to be a further amendment to the bill, which he will call R. Mr. Speaker, the reason for that is that day in, day out, we come to the House of Representatives. Of course, there's the assumption that it should happen periodically. However, it does not happen periodically. And so to that, and that's the reason why we bring matters of urgent public importance on a regular basis, that there's border clashes between one community and the other community. What this seeks to do, as with all other advanced democracies, for instance, in the UK and in Australia, on a yearly basis, there is a review of the borders with a report that is submitted to Parliament yearly, so that the Parliament can look at flashpoints, possible flashpoints, recognize the areas where there's a possibility of border clashes. Because if these reports are done around the length and breadth, the local and international borders of our country, and it is submitted to Parliament on a yearly basis, Mr. Speaker, then we can assume areas where there will be possible conflict between the borders. I think what this bill seeks to do by that additional clause, to put a time frame, is just so that it helps the Boundary Commission do their work more effectively, and of course create an easier route for the people who oversight them to actually have records of what it is that they do. So, of course, while we know that the intent of the Boundary Commission is to do this, and we recognize that even within the Act it is aptly captured, I think what his amendment seeks to do is for us to ensure that they do it within a time frame, because this just makes it very elastic for them, with the results that there's hardly any delimitation or follow-up on boundary disputes. So I think this makes it tighter for them, it gives them little elbow room, and it makes them more efficient. I believe that that is the intent of this amendment, and to that end, I support it.
And finally, Honorable Idisi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I remain Chief Idisi Lovett. I represent the good people of Etiop East and West Federal Constituency of Delta State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I'm an honorable chief. Mr. Speaker, while I commend the mover of this all-important bill, I want to throw in the wind of caution that we should be able to juxtapose the functions of the Boundary Commission and the functions of the Surveyor General of the Federation. Day in, day out, every day, there's one matter of public urgency concerning boundary disputes. And we keep referring this matter to the Boundary Commission. Delineation of Boundary Commission
in my view, is supposed to be the functions of the Surveyor General of the Federation. So when we start saddling the Boundary Commission extensively with these boundary issues, without looking at the real functions of the Boundary Commission, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, in my view, it might amount to climbing the mountain on a rainy day, and is next to impossible in achieving what we set to achieve. So my point is, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, we should be mindful of the various functions of the Surveyor General and the Boundary Commission so that the House is properly guided. Correct. I so support. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The question now is that the bill be now read a second time. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk is invited to read the long title of the bill.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to amend the National Boundaries Commission Establishment Act, CAP, N10, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, to provide for regular periodic delimitation and supervision of states, local governments and community boundaries by the Commission so as to check and forestall boundary disputes and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill referred to the Committee on Special Duties. Honorable colleagues, the fourth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to establish the Institute of Chartered Franchise Executives of Nigeria to be charged with the responsibility for registration and discipline of its members and for related matters. Standing in the name of Honorable Sylvester Ogbaga, honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Thursday, 6 April 2017. I now invite Honorable Ogbaga to move that the bill be now read a second time.
Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Obaga Sylvester. I represent Abakaliki Federal Constituency. I'm from Ebonyi State. I move that the bill to establish the Institute of Chartered Franchise Executive of Nigeria to be charged with the responsibility of registration and discipline of members and for related matters be read the second time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder? Africa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I am Gabriel Onyewife. I represent Oyi. I am a federal constituency. I am proudly Abuja of the Anambra State. Mr. Speaker, I second that the bill as moved by Honorable Obaga be read the second time. I so second.
Honorable Sylvester, please lead the debate.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I remain Honorable Sylvester Obaga, representing Abakaliki Federal Constituency. I'm from Ebonyi State. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, the 8th Assembly passed bill on franchise.
Honorable colleagues, let's listen to our colleague in silence. Honorable colleagues, let's listen to our colleague in silence. Honorable John Boo, take your seat. Magaji, let's listen to our colleagues in silence. So, Honorable Sylvester.
The 8th Assembly passed the bill on franchise in Nigeria, which is one of the bills on ease of doing business in this country. Then the operators of this bill came together as an institute that will direct how franchise could be used in doing business in Nigeria. In doing this, Mr. Speaker, what they seek is just the framework of operation of these functions. In the debate of the franchise, we see issues where people had agreement with the parent body of their franchise and they have issues and they cannot sort it out within themselves because they have nobody that cater for those individuals or organizations running franchise in Nigeria. So what this group of individuals get to do is to educate people coming into franchise business. It has to do with law firms, companies, traders, and distributors. So when they have themselves as a body, before they are accepted internationally, they should have a law guiding their operation. And what this bill seeks to do is to provide those legal framework for them to operate officially without limitations that could make international bodies reject their operations or their relationship. So what I'm appealing to members is to support the second reading of this bill. When anybody has anything to add on the roles these people should be doing in franchise and ease of doing business in Nigeria, the public hearing should provide that forum for people to make such additions or suppressions where necessary. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, I've just been guided that the bill has been thoroughly debated. And the question now is, those in favor of the motion that the bill be now read the second time, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Bill referred to, clerk is invited to read the long title of the bill. Abdurrahman, you are interrupting me.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to establish the Chartered Franchise Executives of Nigeria to be charged with the responsibility for registration and discipline of its members and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill referred to the committee, House Committee on Commerce. Honorable colleagues, the fifth order of the day is commencement of debate on general principle of a bill for an act to amend the Nigerian Television Authority Act, Chapter N136, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Odebumi Olusegun Dokun. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Wednesday, 27 September 2017. I now invite Honorable Dokun to move that the bill be now read a second time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, Odebumi Olusegun is my name. I represent the good people of Ogoluwa, Surulere Federal Constituency. I'm from Oyo State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that a bill for an act to amend the Nigerian Television Authority Act, Chapter 136, Law of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and for related matter. For the second reading, Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Any seconder? Wale Raji.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Wale Raji. I represent a Federal constituency of Lagos State. I stand to second the motion ably moved by Honorable Odebumi. I so second. Thank you.
Honorable Odebumi, lead the debate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleague, I remain Odebumi Olusegun, member representing Surulere Ogoluwa Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, the bill is a very straightforward bill. and we are just seeking the amendment to seek the review certain provisions of the Principal Act to amend the Nigeria Television Authority for the purpose of repositioning the institution for the better performance and efficiency and service delivery in discharge its mandate. Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, the Nigeria Television being a major Nigeria TV stations of Nigeria for Nigerians in advancing the interest of our nation deserve being repositioned by the virtue of our legislative bedrock to enhance it is effectively competing with amongst its peers locally and internationally. In view of this, Section 2 and 3 of the Principal Act is amended by introducing a new paragraph to allow for a secretary of the board of the institution and ensure the specific year for the tenure of the Director General, as well as determination for remuneration to be determined by the Revenue Mobilization Allocation Fiscal Commission. Also, Section 4, Section 5, Section 7, and 8 of the Principal Act are slated for amendment on the issue bordering on the operation procedure of the institution in order to enhance its operational efficiency and catalyst for effective competition with its private and public competitors within and outside Nigeria. Similarly, Section 22 of the Principal Act is amended in subsection 2 by increasing the borrowing power of the institution from 500,000 to 10 million naira for the purpose of enhancing effective service delivery as well as removing avoidable bottleneck hindering smooth operations of the institution. This is at the time for the authority to submit the financial estimate of this income and expenditure proposed for shift, income and expenditures for the shift and backward from 31st October back to 31st July of each year for transparency and the proper accountability. In enhance, the bill is generally aimed at making the NTA more proactive in order for the NTA to give Nigerians the real dividend of democracy we deserve. Mr. Speaker, this is the simple amending the committee is seeking for the review of the act of the NTA. Mr. Speaker, I so submit.
Chairman Telecommunication.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Saeed Akinade-Fijabi. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the bill moved by Honorable Segun Odebumi. I think the bill is just seeking to make sure that the NTA, the Nigerian Telecommunication Authority, its operation can be smoothly and going forward, we want to see NTA to be one of the best, being the largest network in. So for adequate and smooth running of the stations, I think the bill is necessary. And I want to, Mr. Speaker, if we can just commit the bill to the necessary committee to act on it and report back to the House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The question now is that the bill be now read a second time. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk is invited to read the long title of the bill.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to amend the Nigerian Television Authority Act, Cap N136, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill referred to the Committee on Information, National Orientation, Ethics, and Values. Honorable colleagues, Honorable Nkiruka Onyejeoka has added another year to her age. Today is her birthday, and is here seated elegantly. So, colleagues, let's wish her happy birthday. And she's requesting that after plenary, we all resume in our office to celebrate with her. On behalf of the House, I wish you happy birthday. At the point of cutting the cake, she will answer that question. Honorable colleagues, the sixth order of the day is a motion on rescission of the House resolution on the report of the Committee on Local Content on investigation into the provision of indigenous support vessel Total Upstream Nigeria Limited, Total Nigeria PLC tender for provision of PVC and terminal support reference NTD 00001632. Pursuant to Order 9, Rule 16 of the Standing Order of the House of Representatives, standing in the name of Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila. Honorable Gbajabiamila is invited to move the motion. Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. May I once again crave your indulgence this morning to step this matter down till Tuesday next week and take it comprehensively. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Item stepped down by the leave of the House. Honorable colleagues, the seventh order of the day is a motion on need to rehabilitate a road dam in Ekiti State. Standing in the name of Honorable Akinola Aina, Honorable Akinola is invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleagues, my names are Honorable Chief Thaddeus Akinola, representing Idosi, Moba, and Ilejemeje. I'm from Ekiti State. The motion is the need to rehabilitate a road dam in Ekiti State. The House knows that a road dam, which is situated at Ekiti in Moba local government area of Ekiti State, is a major dam that has capacity to provide potable water for at least 14 local government areas in the state. Also knows that the dam has been underutilized due to lack of proper maintenance and poor funding by the federal government. As a result, some of the equipment are fast becoming obsolete, therefore requiring replacement for proper functioning. Aware that lack of portable...
The House has passed for third reading a bill for an act to establish the School of Mines and Geological Studies in Akoko, Edo local government area of Edo State, sponsored by the House Leader Femi Gbajabiamila, and three bills passed for second reading, including a bill for an act to amend the Nigerian Television Authority Act of 2004. These bills were referred to the relevant committees for further legislative action. This is the much we can take on today's live telecast. On behalf of the entire outside broadcast crew, Kenneth Nanimi saying bye for now.